Yo, 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 this your boy Larry, and I'm chilling and vibing with Alexandra. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, Larry. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah.
So where you from?
I'm from Framingham, Massachusetts.
So how's the weather been up there?
I mean, it's been a really nice fall so far. It's been a little, you're in South Carolina, so it's probably still hot every day. So it's cooling down, but it's still sunny and beautiful.
Okay, so what is there to do out there? I never been.
Well, Boston is the birthplace of America, so you can walk on the Freedom Trail and see all the sites that started the American Revolution, and it's people come from all over the world to do it. I kind of take it for granted just being from here, but it is really cool.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
see you're an author. So how did you become an author or why you became an author?
Sure. So I always loved to read, and when I was little, I had sort of this idea that whoever was writing the stories that we were reading, or somebody was writing the stories that we were reading, and I'm not entirely sure why, but I always wanted to do that. I was always sort of making up stories and writing them down. As soon as I learned to write, and I just enjoyed telling them, so it just I don't know. It always just felt really natural to me. I never thought, oh, I'll just be. I don't know. Um, I always just knew that's what I would do with my life. It was never like a conscious decision because I was already doing it. So I just thought it would just be a natural progression that one day I would do it for real.
So what was your first book that you wrote and why you wrote it?
You mean the first book that I published or the first story that I ever finished in my life?
The first one you published.
Okay. It's called Can't Turn Back. Here, I have a copy of it right here. And it's about this family from Massachusetts, and they have to go into the witness protection program because their father is an architect and had a normal life for the most part, but then he got sort of coerced into working for the local mob to land all these government contracts and would get kickbacks. He tried to get out of it, but they threatened him, and he stayed in it, made quite a bit of money. The IRS started kind of poking around into his finances, so he gave everybody up, but it put his family at risk. So they had to move away. They moved to a remote town in northern Michigan with new names and like fake backstories, kind of trying to start their lives over again, but they're still the same family, so the dynamic is still the same even with new people, and their secrets don't stay buried. So they try to start over, but it's not quite that simple.
If somebody would want to purchase that book, where can they purchase it from?
Sure. So you can purchase it on Amazon. You can do it in paperback, hardcover, or Kindle. And then if you do happen to be in Boston, it is carried at one bookstore in the whole world. It's called I Am Books. It's on Salem Street in the North End in Boston. It's this really adorable, charming Italian American bookstore. So if you're in the area or you visit, I would highly recommend. But you can just get it on Amazon too.
So growing up and you like to read books, growing up, which book that, caught your eye and you was like, I want to be an author?
It's hard to say because I've wanted to be an author ever since I can remember. So it was really just children's books. I was just really intrigued by, I guess, letters and then reading and then stories and then making up stories of my own. My mom read to my siblings and I. She would read to us every night. So we would do like the Grimm's fairy tales. We did that a lot. The Berenstain Bears, like kids stuff. But I enjoyed it. And then when I got a little older, I started to read chapter books on my own, and that only, I guess, sort of strengthened the desire for that to be what I would do with my life. I remember when I was 9 or 10, I had tonsillitis, so I was kind of laid up for a while and knocked out the Chronicles of Narnia, and then I started reading like series.
Or which books you like to read? Horror, suspense.
I mean, these days, I think I really like, I don't love anything that's really scary. I guess, I don't know. I don't like, I'm not a scary movie person. I don't really like to be scared. I guess if there's some sort of mystery to figure out, I really enjoy that because it kind of keeps you thinking, it keeps you on your toes.
Okay.
Yeah, a book I reread all the time because it is sort of a mystery and like a whodunit, I guess. I reread it probably once a year. It's called Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and it's been like they did a Netflix. A lot of people think Colleen Hoover ripped it off when she did Verity, so it's like kind of a tried and true like plot, I guess, but nothing compares to the original.
So I was wondering, like, what is that process? Like in publishing your first book, was that process hard or stressful?
So, you know what? It did not need to be as hard as I made it on myself, quite honestly, because I had this idea for the book when I was working at a PR firm in Massachusetts. I was an intern, so I was 21 years old, I guess. And it was like, I mean, it wasn't this kind of PR, but at the same time, Verizon had had some sort of data breach. So all these people who were in the witness protection program had their data compromised. This was a really big deal, obviously. So around the office, everybody was like, oh my God, I would hate to represent them right now. And my mom and I were just kind of talking about what it must be like to be in witness protection. And she said, somebody would have to come get you in the middle of the night and you could never tell anybody where you were going. And I said, wow, that's a good idea for a book. So I started writing it that summer, but it took me because it was like I wasn't disciplined with it. I didn't have a set process. Also, I was just like 21 and kind of living that like college lifestyle of just like just being a kid and just like doing stupid things with your time. So, uh, but I think part of me, because my whole identity was wrapped up in being a writer at this point, because I've been doing it my whole life. People kind of knew it was what I was into and thought I was good at it. So I was really like afraid that if I tried to do it for real, I put it out into the world, and this book was garbage, nobody liked it. It would just mean that I was a failure as a person. So I think that's what really held me back, because I would just be like, oh, well, I'll write when I get inspired. And that was kind of like, that's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes you wake up, you feel inspired, and some days you're just not. So um that took probably, well, the way I kind of went along with that, that was probably 7+ years until I finally got it together and just realized just how wrong my thinking was, and that what it was going to need was just sitting down and knocking out a certain number of words every day. So I did that for the last like 6 months of it, and then I finished the book. Um, but all in all, it took 8 years, and then it still had to be edited. I always knew I wanted to go the self-publishing route, because at this point, like when I was growing up, I always thought I would have to go to a publisher because that was just the only way that anybody could publish a book. But then in the meantime, Amazon came to be and you could self-publish. So I knew I wanted to do that. And it had a different name, it had a different title, again, because I think I didn't have an appreciation or discipline for just like the work that goes into it. So I put it out there, um but I don't know, I felt like I wasn't really putting my best foot forward and I could do better. So then I had somebody edit it for real. I reworked some plot lines. I had a different title. I had a graphic designer design the cover, which I love, still think it's great, and I re-released it in November of 2020. And again, I mean, it's a process, but I could have condensed that into probably 6 to 9 months if I was just like, I really had my life together, but I didn't.
So what was that feeling like when you saw your book in the store and online?
It was kind of surreal. I don't think it really felt real, honestly, until Amazon did the hardcovers and I opened that box of hardcover books. I think because that's what I was always dreaming about as a little girl, and the rest of it didn't feel real. Because when you see it online, you can't hold it in your hands. Even though it is real, it doesn't feel real.
Yeah, I could just imagine. I wouldn't mind, doing a book because I got a story to tell.
Okay, you can do it.
And also, I want to do a children's book, for my daughter
Okay,
to, you
what would it
know,
be about?
ah, my daughter, she liked to be a ballerina, but she was a ballerina. And,
Okay,
just
how old
being a
is she?
ballerina growing up, 8,
8? Okay, oh, I like that. Oh, she would love
yeah,
being the star of a book. You should do it.
yeah, I'm thinking about it. So, that she can also, when she grow up, like, oh man, I remember this book. My dad wrote this book and it's about me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. She'll love that forever.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely thinking about it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But Alexandra, I appreciate you for coming on and tell everybody where they can find your book again.
Oh, sure. So you can find it on Amazon. It's called Can't Turn Back. Or if you're in Boston, you can get it at I Am Books on Salem Street in the North End.
Okay. Appreciate you for coming on. But before we go, let
Yeah,
everybody know what we're doing.
chilling and vibing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.